notice.
Are you going to mention Susie at all?
Yes, we just did. I'm sorry. I didn't say action, Father Fish. I'm sorry.
No, I mean live. Are you?
We are live.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We just went live when you mentioned that about Susie, but I'm glad we did, because I did want to mention it. You know, Susie's had a big loss in her family, and
Yes.
some of you know more details than I do, and I just know that it's a really hard loss for her, and that's one of the reasons she's had to be out a couple of weeks. So please keep her in your prayers, and we're always there for her. She's one of our very special members. So
I've been working with Susie for years. She does all my labels, and that's it. It's her son-in-law who owns the business, and he's the one who died. So this has created a lot of chaos in the family, not just because of his loss, but because it's their family business.
right.
So it's kind of a double tragedy for them, and it's very painful.
Right.
So our prayers and our thoughts are with Susie and her family.
I can't imagine that.
I know. Well, I've been through this. My father was murdered early on in my career when I needed him most, and he was just taken like that. So I've suffered that kind of loss, that kind of pain, and was able to spend a little time talking with her. So thinking about you, Susan, and praying for you, and want everything to work out.
I think I told you I was happy that you had, or glad you had mentioned today when we talked. I said, Susan.
Well, I called her up to put an order in.
Right.
For some labels.
Right.
Like running into a freight train.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bob and Whit, for inviting me.
Yeah.
Delighted to be here.
Well, we're delighted to have you. I was noticing when I was making a thumbnail that it was back in July when you were here last. I think July 28th. So it's been a minute.
Yeah. We're coming up on a year.
10 months. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in here doesn't know Father Fish, but where the heck have you been if you don't?
Right. The man, the myth, the legend.
Exactly. Father Fish. No, if Father Fish doesn't know it, you can't find it in a book, probably. So
It's been quite a journey. It's been 5 years, I guess, since I got on YouTube, and we've been together since the beginning. How long have you been on YouTube, Bob?
right about that same time, maybe just a month or two more. Yeah.
There was a whole group of us that came in kind of all at once, and we all got to know each other right away.
Right.
And develop friendships. A big group of us, and I think a lot of them are still here.
Yeah. Good old Fish fam.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, I think we've had an impact. Our class, Whip's part of that too. He came in early on.
Yeah, he's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been here as long as some, but I've been here since 2019.
Yeah, about 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you came in early on in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're a unique group. I don't know any other group that is kind of identified the way we have.
Right.
You know, we don't always talk. We don't always even get along particularly well.
Right.
But
We're
we
really
all love
a
each
group
other.
of people.
You know, we're all part of that same community.
Right.
Yeah, and how many of us there are and what the focus is on. All
Yeah,
that
exactly.
vacillates and it changes, but we go together and learn together. So it's been
Amen.
quite
Amen.
the journey. Quite
Amen.
the journey.
So, I got a bunch of stuff going on.
You do. I was trying to let you catch your breath before I said, "Hey, show us some fish."
Well, that's part of the problem. I'm having trouble right now catching my breath
I know.
because I'm in AFib.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have been for about 3 months. I thought I had it under control, and I went in this past week all excited that I've been able to stop it, and they said, "Whoop, no, you haven't. It's been persistent since February." So they're setting up a procedure for me. I'm going to get the shock therapy, see if that helps. Hopefully it will. I don't hold out a lot of hope because I've had AFib for years, but
yeah.
was never in it more than a minute or two here or there. And then all of a sudden it just hit me like a brick wall in February. And it was because I was getting blockages.
Yeah.
And I wound up getting a stent, and that has helped. And I've learned to control my lower part of my heart, so I'm not in stress unless I walk around too much.
Do you have a prolapsed mitral valve?
I don't think so. They haven't really. When they did the stent this past time, they did go in and look at the heart, but I never got a report back on that.
No.
So I
That can
don't.
have something to do with it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. They're going to try shock therapy on it.
Well, uh, actually, to make you feel better about that, you know, I did cardiac most of my nursing time, and I've stood by many, many, many conversions, cardio conversions, with the crash cart. But the encouragement is I never needed it once out of
Uh,
dozens and dozens and dozens.
uh,
And the patients did convert, all but one I remember. So
is that right?
all but one.
Huh. Well, ablation is the next step in the process, I guess.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that, whatever it takes. I'm a survivor.
Oh yeah.
I've had I had bypass surgery 10 years ago or more.
See, I'm just a youngster. I'm just starting out with all of this stuff.
Uh, well, I'll be 85 this September.
I know you will, and I'll be a whopping 70 this November.
My,
I know, just a kid, right?
yeah, right.
Sit down and shut up.
I'm not even to talk about.
All right, Whitman.
Right.
Dirty dog.
Well, I just want to keep going. And there's so many things happening. Um, I've got some wonderful people who are on my team and working with me doing all kinds of stuff. We've got a book that's been out as an ebook now for a few months
I
since
didn't know that.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. It's called The Natural Aquarium. It is a tome. It's a 500 page book, big, thick book. We have a publisher now that's publishing it. I don't know when the hardback will be out, but it'll be this summer at the latest. I didn't write it. It was written by a team of people who worked on it for about 2 years.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty extensive and covers really every aspect of natural fish keeping. Just a remarkable piece of work. So we're real excited about it. we got it to, I wanted to work with a publisher, a small enough publisher that we could have a relationship. So we contacted Covenant, which is it's a Christian publisher. They publish more than religious books, however. They publish a wide variety. They don't do smut, is I guess the main thing. They don't do morally questionable stuff at all, but they do some tech publishing and a lot of how-to kinds of things. And they have a worldwide distribution, so we'll be in Barnes and Noble and Amazon and whatnot once we get published. So
Nice.
hopefully we'll get some sales out of it. That would be exciting. So there's that. We have an online store which we've had for about a year now, selling mostly plants. I want to be able to do fish, but I'm a little apprehensive because I use the post office and they've been kind of hit or miss. It works all right with plants. With fish, it could be a little trickier. I have a brick and mortar. I've reopened a local store since moving to Maryland from Florida. And we have a little warehouse. It's quite a nice little unit. My landlord, we moved into a warehouse about a year and a half ago. And after 6 months or so, my landlord said, I want to show you something. So he brought me into a double wide. These are probably 25 by 75. Good size, might be bigger than that, but pretty good size. This is a double. It was built out as a dance studio.
Oh,
So it's quite nice. It's drop ceilings and paneled walls with wood floors. It's really quite nice. And we have our store in here and also our pack out area where we pack out plants and some supplies. So there's that. We have a Discord server that's called the Shoal, where people come who are having problems. And
Yeah.
it's also a community of folks who just get together, share with each other. We're starting a new website called the Natural Aquarium. That'll be open and up shortly. And we're trying to figure out where to go with the channel. We could start a new one. We thought about that. It would mean rebuilding, and that's a hard thing to do.
yeah.
So, we've got a good sized channel. So right now I've got a couple of people doing videos on it, and that's working out pretty well. So just so much going on. It's really exciting.
I came in earlier than I was supposed to come in and say hi and come over and see me. I came in about 10 minutes early and I was just kind of lurking and listening to what all was going on. And I really liked the flow of what was going on. And everybody seemed very happy, no drama, just really a like-minded group of people, just so positive.
It really is, yeah.
That's really nice too. I mean, when you get that, where there's not a lot of backbiting and.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't tolerate it. If it's, I just cut it off. I'm not interested.
No, life's too
People
short.
fighting and squabbling.
Life's too short for some of us, Whip.
Well, you're never too young, right?
Right. The thing that's been fun about that, I do that 2 nights a week, Sunday and Wednesday night. I do these show and tell, and people come up and show off their tank, and we give people tonight we had a fellow from the Czech Republic, New Zealand, Brazil, Canada, England, and of course the U.S. And we have occasionally people who come on from like the Philippines or Indonesia or India. We had a guy from India tonight, actually. And he had to stay up half the night to come up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning his time.
Holy cow.
I came in with a guy with the 500, or was it 500 or 100 betas?
Oh, Christian, yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I bought betas. I've had him ship them to me a couple of times. He's in South Carolina, I think. And when we met him, he had a tank full of betas that were pretty, and they were really neat, young ones. So I just bought them all, had them shipped up to me, and they did real well. And it inspired him to do it again.
Yeah,
And now he's branching out. So
nice.
it's fun seeing that. When people get affirmation, it motivates them to do new things.
Right.
And I see a lot of that. You know, I try to be motivational. Try to get people enthused about what they're doing and feel good about it, and, you know, kind of expand their efforts.
Whip, why are you so quiet?
I was talking to our mutual friend. She texted me. So sorry.
Oh,
How's she doing?
I can't catch Whip at anything.
Right. She's just sad. She's very sad.
I know. Oof. Yeah, it's going to take a while to. This is like 5-6 days. It only happened a week ago. Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
you know what? I mean, as somebody who has buried a child, there's no time.
I'm sure.
Right?
I'm sure.
I can
My
only
God.
imagine. I don't have to live with it.
Yeah, that's the worst pain there is. I don't think anything could.
And he was a child. I mean, a young man, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was only 24.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's life in front of him. Sad stuff.
And Susie's son-in-law, right? It was a
Yes.
son-in-law.
That's
I
right.
mean, not that makes a difference really, but I mean, he has been family and
They were very close. She was
Right.
very, very close to him.
I've heard her mention him before, talking about the business and how
Yeah,
they work together and so forth.
I just imagine what her daughter is feeling, because that was a very special couple. They were kind of oddballs out and really linked up more
Right.
closely than many couples are.
I don't know if that's the father of the granddaughter she keeps sometime, or schools. She homeschools her.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't hazard to guess, but yeah, I know she does watch a couple kids,
Right.
even homeschools them. Or she was. So
Wow. Yeah, this YouTube experience is interesting, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
you get to know people, you get to care about them, and then when stuff like this happens, we're so far away from each other. Then there's nothing you can do. Not that you can do anything about with that anyway, but
Yeah, it's strange because these are people we never see with our eyes,
right.
never touch, never exchange an intimate word with in person, and yet we become so close. kind of remarkable. Well, the thing that inspires me, I think, more than anything else, is how easy it is to be able to share with people literally anywhere in the world, anywhere
Right.
on earth. And I do. I mean, I was just telling you, I was talking with people tonight who are living in half a dozen different countries.
Right. It's
All
amazing, isn't
around
it?
the world. It is. It's
I mean,
mind-boggling.
your reach is much bigger than ours, but I mean, I still come across lots of people, from Australia. You really can't get much further away than
Yeah,
Australia.
that's right.
It's kind of
That's
fun
right.
to think about.
Yeah, India. You know what? That's a foreign culture. If China ever opens up, can you just imagine what
Right.
that's going to be like? I mean, that's a culture like no other.
And there's so many people, it might shut down the internet.
Yeah, right, right. And the fish. I mean, my God, the fish industry in China is so far beyond anything we can even imagine.
Right.
It's extraordinary.
And that's sometimes that gets you more than anything, right? I mean, just the culture that they're dealing with every day, where, we're going about our lives, right? And we're used to what we have and all that. And then you're talking to somebody who has a whole different situation going on.
Experience, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
good or bad. I mean,
Really,
it's
yeah.
it's hugely different from our way of life.
I've been following predatory fins for a little
Oh,
while.
great channel. Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. And his trips to China boggled the brain. They were at a fish show in a recent video in China.
Yep.
I mean, they call it a fish show. I don't know what I would call it. There were 250-gallon tanks, chock a block, rows after row after
Yep.
row of 250-gallon tanks
It's amazing, isn't it?
with stingrays in them. Stingrays. I mean, one or two or three in a tank, row after row after row.
And the one fish that we can't get, the Asian arowana, they're everywhere over there, and they're just
Right.
glorious. And
Right, right. It's just amazing. We don't see the really cool stuff. Japan's another one. The Japanese guppy market is like nothing else in the world. We don't see those guppies. They never make it this far. They
right.
don't. They get swallowed up. But the industry is so big in the Golden Crescent. The Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, every country in the Crescent has huge hobbyist market. Their and their approach to fish is totally different than ours. They I remember years ago, I was selling on Aquabid back around the year 2000. And I was selling this, that, and the other thing. I was working with Seagrass, the wholesaler. I'd go in and mostly bettas. They would get literally a truckload of bettas, 100,000 bettas.
Oh, wow.
And they'd put them all out in boxes. And I would go through these things. And back then, they were not sorted. I mean, it was just everything, whatever was being produced was bagged and shipped. So it was all a flat rate. They were like $1.50. And you go through, and I found one once It was panda. No, it was a koi. It was a koi that had 3 different colors, unheard of
Right.
back then. I pulled it out, took it into Sandy, who was the at that time the president of Seagrass. We used to get together for lunch once a week and showed her this. I put it up on Aquabid, and 2 women got the bidding on it. It went for $240.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to keep it and breed it. I had that fish in the mail. So,
Yeah. Sold.
but the story I was going to tell, I started started buying little flower horns, juveniles, and growing them out, and they would pair off and breed. And I'd be selling these breeding pair of flower horns. So I wound up, a guy called me from Hong Kong. Called me from Hong Kong, and he wanted me to send them a number of different species of Central Americans. Because they wanted to do, they had, these were young guys in their 20s, as a group of them. They had developed the flower horn. By crossing Jack Dempsey's Trimax, whatever else, and they produced these fish. And he said the reason we did it was as a gift to the Chinese people, because their goal was to create a fish that had what looked like Chinese hieroglyphics on its body, on its side. And that's really that was the foundation of the flower horn. That's what it was developed for. So he was simply asking me for more breeding stock. And I did. I sent him this big box with 100 fish in it. And it got lost.
Oh,
It took
I hate that.
2 weeks to get to them. Everything was alive, but a lot of it was spinning like this. So a lot of it didn't survive. The biggest ones survived, which is kind of strange. But it's just remarkable, talking to this guy about fish, and he's halfway around the world and doing things really remarkable. Amazing stuff. I think that's what has really been so exciting for me about the hobby, kind of from the beginning, is how many people it's put me in touch with, how many friends I've made, how many people I've learned from, and have developed these very special friendships with.
yeah. That's my favorite part about FishTube, or whatever you want to call it. That's why I keep coming back, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'd be keeping fish with or without YouTube, but the best part about coming out here, aside from learning, different things,
Right.
I would have never. I have a tank that's set up using one of your more original, not your current system, but I have the inch of dirt covered by 2 inches of sand, and all that.
Yeah.
And I would have never even thought to try that before I had met you.
Right. Right. Yeah. Remarkable, isn't it?
Well, it's a little bit humbling to me to hear Father Fish say that's why he keeps coming back and why he keeps doing it, because he enjoys learning. Hats off to you, Father Fish.
Thank you.
Well, you never stop learning, right? I mean, that's the whole goal,
Well,
right?
No, well, I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean,
trying
my
to be
whole
nice.
life, My
Trying to
whole life
find
has
stuff.
been like that. When I was a kid, I met a man who had a little local shop who became the biggest wholesaler in the country, and who I then met again as an adult when I got enthused about the idea of having a public aquarium in Baltimore. And he and I reconnected at that point. I don't think he remembered things. I don't think I ever talked with him about it, but that was Merle Cohen. Uh, Aquarium Products was the name of his company. He invented ick, the quick cure. He's the one who first bottled it. He's the first one who started using plastic bags and styrofoam to ship fish. I mean, that's remarkable. And
Right.
he was, and I was selling little oyster crabs to him when I was 14 years old in Baltimore, Maryland.
I bet there are not a lot of people in here that ever bought fish when they were kids in like a little deli cup thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep,
The Chinese carryout.
yep,
Yeah.
Yep. I bought many a fish that way.
yep.
And my father grew up in the city, in a rough part of the city. He was not an animal person at all, but he got very enthused with my interest. In fact, it's kind of a cute story. I found a snake one day. It was a big, long, green ribbon snake. Must have been 2 foot long. And I was so excited about it because it's a beautiful little snake. I was about 12 years old, I think. No, younger. I was 9 years old. And we were visiting my grandparents, my mother's parents. And I'd spent some time working for my grandfather, and he gave me a gift of a Penn fishing reel.
Mhm.
And I had the box was perfect for the snake, so I put the snake in the box and left it sitting alongside the reel. My father walked in, decided he wanted to look at
no.
the reel, so he opened the box and out let this snake. Well, I was not around when all that happened. The first I heard about it was when the snake was gone, when I opened the box. Nobody ever said anything to me about it, but he came to me about 2 days later and he said, I'll make you a deal. If you never bring another snake in the house, I will get you a fish tank. Well, that was like gold to me.
Right.
I
You
made
made-
I made that deal instantly, and I stuck to it. But he was very involved with me then, taking me around to local hobbyists and wherever we could find some fish to buy.
That's a nice dad.
You know, it was wonderful.
But he didn't care for snakes, apparently.
Well,
Now
like
when
I
you open a box and say hello.
said, really, no, he was scared death of snakes. And I was all about them. In fact, we had a reptile club, herpetology club in high school, which I became the president of. It was just we used to go out collecting, and we did one collecting trip. It was an all-nighter, and I was afraid. I was 15, I think, at the time. I was afraid to ask my father permission to go because I was afraid he would say no. So I didn't ask. And it didn't show up at home after school that evening. Got in the next morning, it was Saturday morning, and they had found out where I was and what I was doing. How they ever found out, I have no idea. But my father always seemed to manage to be able to find me wherever I wandered off to. He was an amazing man.
Funny how parents can do that.
Yeah,
Were you in a small town? Because that's how they do it. They have a network that you don't even know that you had.
well, yeah, that happened more than once. In this case, we were in a big city in Baltimore, and he still found out.
Oh, that's tougher. That's tougher.
Yeah, it was tougher.
Because I remember I came home for a Super Bowl, but I didn't go home. I was in college, and I had come home to be with some of my buddies that didn't go. You know, they stayed home, just got regular jobs and whatnot. And I got back to school. You know, 'cause it was during the weekend, obviously. Went back home, back to school, and I got a call from mom saying, "Well, you can't stop by." I'm like, "How did you even know I was there?" Because you know this was before all the internet and tracking and all that stuff, obviously. So, people saw you,
right.
Yeah, they don't like to give out their sources either.
right?
Really?
Right. No.
That's the truth. Mercy.
I'm looking at not three blind mice, but three bald mice here. They're mice that I couldn't or didn't feed to my snakes. They're not mice, they're rats. They're big rats, and rats are so intelligent.
Bald
they're-
rats.
Hey, Skitty.
The hairless rats.
They're hairless, so they're pinkish white. And
Yeah.
as long as I do my part and, change their litter every day or every other day is the most I'll ever go with it. And, the food and water bowls, just like it's like a dog or a cat, they're very fastidious, and they keep themselves and their bedding and all that real clean.
Huh.
But they don't like the poop. And if I do miss one day, they'll push it out. They'll push it out.
Really?
So I'd rather take their pan out and
They
clean
let you know.
it. But one has a little, I was looking at him, he's got a little knot here on his, like his clavicle, I guess.
Huh.
I was rubbing under his chin and I saw it there. They don't live very long, but I still don't want him to be in pain.
I've never had a rat as a pet.
No, they're pretty cool. Actually, they're better than.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
I had two.
Yeah.
I had two that would come to me when I called them.
Yeah.
I mean, they were almost dog-like. I mean, they were pretty amazing. They poop and pee too much though. That's the problem.
You
Yeah. I've
got
raised.
to stay on top of it. You've got to. They it almost goes right through them, it.
Right. That's why the way I understand it, that's why the gerbil and the hamster are so popular is because they're desert dwellers and they hold on to that.
Well, these I had a brother and sister when they were little. Actually, Chattanooga Ed and I got them over in Middle Tennessee 2 years, maybe a little more than that now. And the original two, a boy and a girl, and of course they mated. And these are like third generation. And I still have the mother, the original mother, but she doesn't breed, of course. But I let it get away with me. I got like 10 or 12 of them, and 10 or 12 big rats is like 3 cats. So one of the ladies at the pet shop wanted them, and I wouldn't let her get them. And then she said, I want to put them out in the front of the shop and sell them like for $30 each instead of $7 as food. And every time I go in, she asks me if I have any more. I've stopped breeding them because I don't want any more. But when I go in, I do, like making a mousy noise at them, and they all jump and run over to that side.
So you did end up giving some to her?
Yeah.
You did end up giving them?
Yeah, and then I gave her some that were, I guess, mixed. They were half hairless, but they had black on them, so I have some black and white, and I gave her those, and the lady was buying one of those, but they turned out to have Dumbo, the Dumbo ear, like the Dumbo guppies and stuff. So they really do have Dumbo eared rats, and they're the cutest things. So if you can get a naked one and one with droopy ears, you've got the best you can get, apparently. But yeah, they're just about all gone.
Uh,
I won't do that anymore.
I'm just looking at the chat.
I'm glad you're looking because I can't see it. Do you ever get that thing that pops up to the link that not warns people, that tells them about joining and that you get a kickback?
The referral, yeah, that's new.
Well, I can't get rid of that. I even put in
I would say, on the phone, you mean?
it's right over my chat, and I can only.
Yeah.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, if you're looking at your chat on StreamYard, it's right above where you would type.
And until I stay behind a comment all the time,
Oh, yeah.
and then it's kind of gone after that. On the phone, you don't have a lot of territory there to see.
Study known as here.
I let my kids have gerbils, and I think spring mice.
I don't know what you just did, but you turned invisible.
Oh, I put that.
Lost it.
Oh,
They wanted me to have a little more light. They were trying to help me see how bad my picture is with. Anyway, still like it was the other night, guys. It looks smudgy, but light seemed to help it. So I said,
Put it down lower. That's actually pretty
yeah,
good.
that actually, that's not bad at all.
Well, what I was trying to do is read the chat.
All right.
I see
Oh.
stuff. Yeah, that's why I did it.
Gotcha.
Always saying something, but see, I can't see what he's saying. It's down below.
He just says time to get a new phone.
I agree.
Lucky Stone says yes, everyone is upset with StreamYard's new on-screen ad.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't get out,
Um,
so I didn't know. That's one thing, Lou. I'm
June's getting you trouble. All these comments and Bob can't see them.
Right.
But I have replay. I'll be watching them as soon as they. I do that anyway. Do you do that? Y'all do that? You go back and read your comments and stuff?
Almost never on my own. I do a lot of, because I work still, and I have to do a lot of replay.
Yeah.
You know? So then I usually turn the comments on just so I can see them.
All right.
I go back and listen to it and then look over if it's something I think I want to see what's being said in the chat. But like if I'm washing dishes or scrubbing algae or something like that.
On one occasion, I had one troll that came in that I had to go back and delete, that I found out about after the fact. But other than that, it's been pretty clean. So I don't feel the need to go listen to my annoying voice again for a second time.
Well, I give out wrenches to everybody, which means that anybody who comes in saying the least off-color thing gets immediately blocked.
Just ousted immediately.
Instantly.
Well, that's not what we're there for. And if anybody's not there for that, they're at the wrong place.
Right.
Yeah, really.
Father Fish, this is my new native fish tank behind me.
Oh my! What do you have in it?
Well, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. I started out, I ordered fish from Jonah's, and I got a couple of mud cats and a couple of rainbow darters,
Oh, nice.
a couple of long-fin or long-eared, whatever, panfish. That's not what they're
Yeah.
called.
The sunfish, right?
Yeah,
Sunfish, yeah.
yeah. And it seemed like I had something else. But anyway, they've all done pretty well. And they've all made it except the Mad Tom. I haven't seen it. I didn't see it at first for a month or 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden it showed up, and then I haven't seen it again. So I think,
I've never had a mad top. Never caught one.
They're aptly named, I'll tell you that. They
Uh,
really are. They're cute. But I just got bored with it one day and I thought, and I've started having big fish, losing big fish out of my 180. And I thought, I'm going to flip this, but I'm just going to go through attrition, and so I
yeah,
went ahead and got me some fish that I have never kept, very common fish, a lot of them, and just put them in here. And I'm trying to make little schools. This is a 125
nice.
and it's planted. I am planting it, and I'm not just using native plants. I was at first, but now I've thrown a bunch of hygrophila in there and some other things.
Nice.
It's a lot of barbs because it started out as cold water, and it still is. So barbs do well, in that.
Yeah.
You know. Did you know? Did you know? That was
What?
a stupid thing. I felt how embarrassed I am myself. Did you know that barbs do well in cold water? Well, duh. I think you do know that.
In cold water, yeah.
I know you do.
Hey, I had a friend of mine asking me, I don't know much about little fish, but she was asking, she wants to start a pond. And she wants to do, what's that?
I said, ooh.
Ooh. She's going to put rice fish. She thinks they're Madaka. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
She has to double check, but I don't know if you're familiar with Nancy D from Tennessee, but she sold her some eggs and they hatched, and she's raised them from fry and all the way up. And she doesn't want to just throw them in a pond when temperatures are still in the mid 60s at night. And I said, well,
they're a cold water fish.
They'll be fine. But she also is going to put gold longfin danios.
Yeah.
Do they need warmer water?
Yeah. Chances are they'll be fine.
Danios are like, to me, and with my experience, they're like the second string of cold water. They'll do well in cold water.
Yeah.
Not freeze over water, but cold water. They're like white clouds. Would you say that, Doctor? Fatherfish.
Yeah, I think they can handle 60s down into the 50s. Below that might be a problem. The mountain minnow she could put in there, and there are some pretty nice ones. They've been bred out to have some pretty nice morphs. And
now those can pretty much live anywhere, right? I mean, she's in Virginia. So
yeah.
Who is that?
It's Killer Kitty, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
She was asking.
Dan's fish called her Kirill for 2 years. We finally told him it was Killer.
Yes. White cloud.
Yeah, so she wants to start a pond, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could be more. I mean, I've done goldfish because I know goldfish will live in Chicago overnight or over the winter.
Oh yeah.
I've never done anything, remotely exotic. Not that Madaka rice fish or Danios are particularly exotic, but they're more so than goldfish. So.
Oh yeah.
With the Madaka, that's a cold water fish. They're from Japan. Japan is temperate zone. They get snow.
They keep them out in big pots, don't they?
Is that right? Yeah. They live wild.
I've got goldfish in here. They help me cycle this from salt to fresh, so they can stay in here as long as they want.
Yeah, that's the only non-native you got in there, right? If I remember correctly.
It was the only thing I started with, but I have, here goes a bunch of, what are those? Gold and blue, red and blue barbs. There's a whole bunch of those white ones, of course, are the rosy reds. I have a snake, other fish that you probably are familiar with from your childhood, the Nerodia.
The ringneck? What is it?
No, it's close. It's a water snake, and there are 4, I think, morphs of it. And there's a red belly.
Typodon, yeah.
Yeah, And I have a broadbanded one, and he started out as like a little worm, and now he's
Oh,
a thick, like water moccasin looking, and that's why they get killed so much. They look poisonous. But man, I get him, well, 15 now of the rosy reds.
wow.
Pour him in a bowl in his tank, and he's right in there.
Huh.
And he goes in there, I think, when he gets hungry, because I'll see him in there, and it'll remind me, oh, it's been a week, I need to go get him.
Right.
It's just really cool. So there are fish, snakes you can keep without keeping rodents.
Right. Yeah, well, certainly the water snake doesn't eat rodents, it eats fish.
Yeah, I
There
tried.
was another one I had for a while. It was called an elephant trunk fish. It's from Cambodia, Vietnam.
Is that the one that's similar to the knife fish?
No, no. This one, it looks like it has loose skin.
Those are popular again right now, father fish.
They get pretty big. They get a couple of feet.
It looks like an elephant's trunk.
They can only live in the water. They
Yeah.
can't survive. They can't survive on land.
Be nice, they said. Be nice. He went right over and tried to catch onto this snake thing right beside me. Sorry.
Funny stuff.
I had one of my foster cats get adopted at Petco yesterday. I miss him, but having that
thanks,
one
Kitty.
cat on is amazing, the difference it makes. There were 9
I
cats in
appreciate
the
it.
house, and now there are 8. But man, you can tell he's gone.
I've been feeding feral cats, and I've had one show up who has adopted my house and is really quite friendly. I think it's somebody's pet, actually.
Yeah, or maybe somebody.
Are you in town or are you out in the boonies?
Well, I guess you'd call it in town. It's not really. I'm in Salisbury, Maryland, which is a small city, under 30,000. I mean, it's small.
Yeah.
And I live in a community mostly of small standalone houses on lots.
Yeah, I know country people. I can't tell you. I know several people who live out in the country, and city people just seem to think, oh well, those farmers, they need cats for mousers. So when they get tired, when they get tired of their house cat, they just go dump it, at some random farm, and that almost never works out. First of all, the farmer doesn't want it, and second of all, it's not used to living, off of
That's
the
right.
mice that it can catch, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen people do that even with declawed cats, which you don't see much anymore, thank God. But I've seen declawed cats.
My community's full of them. There are herds of them. Every 3 or 4 houses has 3 or 4 cats hanging around it all the time. There are no rabbits. You don't see birds.
Yeah.
Not
Snakes.
other than flying by. No squirrels, no mice, no rats, no snakes, no frogs.
And that takes a toll on that land.
It does. It does. Just cats. No dogs even. Just cats.
I mean, I've been educated now, probably for the last, I don't know, at least 20 years. But I'll fully admit that I was one of those idiots that just let my cats run loose. Because they wanted to go outside. And I said, oh, if you want to go outside, just go outside.
Right.
Not realizing the impact that they're having
Yeah.
on a massive scale when they all gang up together.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
And just think how much territory it would take, even if just half an acre. I'm lucky, well, not when I'm mowing, I'm not, but I have almost 2 acres. And I could never think that more than 1 or 2 cats could live off of that. They might, but I wouldn't have any wildlife.
Yeah, and in the city, I mean, there's more. Well, I don't know if there's more. It just seems like there's more mice. Not, I didn't see too many rats, but there's a lot of mice running around. You
Because
know, when
they live
people
off
throw their
humans.
garbage laying around, and yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting out this snake I haven't had out for several months, but I'm too lazy to do it. That's why it hasn't been out.
Well, he's letting you know he needs to go.
He's looking at me. Let me see.
Papa, I got the peas.
Oh, no, snake.
Oh, snakes.
You gotta get the snake.
I thought you were talking about the dog that just was barking at you.
Oh, okay.
On this.
They've been out 4 times. They have one more time. Y'all might get to see me get tagged.
Oh my God.
Oh. He's in shed, or he has shed.
You know, you got a cat right there, right?
Is that a otter or is it a python?
Yeah, that's the one I just threw down. Most of them are used to the reptiles and they don't want anything to do with them. And
Yeah.
see, he just went the other way.
Is that a
Nice.
ball python?
It's a ball python.
It is a ball.
python.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just shed, so he's got wispy stuff on him. I need to let him take a swim.
Probably frisky.
A warm bath. Well, he's ready to eat too. So he's in position to strike. Come here, Floyd. Oh no, he and Floyd are friends. Come here, Floyd. Come on.
He's ready to strike. Come here, Floyd.
Right.
Come and help me feed the snake. Floyd. Come here, boy.
Right. Come be food.
Here he comes. Come on. Here he comes. He's up on top of that 180 tank. He's easing his way over. Come on. Come here. I've got one of the snakes out. He doesn't try to peck them. He used to when he first came here, but come here. You haven't even said hello to Father Fish. Come on down. Come on. Well, come on. There.
There he is.
See that pretty bird?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice. Hello.
Boy.
Hello.
If you talk to him, he will talk back eventually.
That's one of the few birds
Hi there.
I've never had.
They're saying hello. Here. Hello.
It's a gray, isn't it?
No,
No.
that's
Oh, what is-
no.
He's an Amazon, but he's a smart one.
oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say,
If Bob would go buy himself a new phone, you'd be able to see him. He wouldn't be all blurry.
I know it.
Yeah. Really.
Have you tried wiping that off?
I'm gonna wipe
We
it up.
can clean those lenses.
Boy. Well, say hello. Father Fish said hello.
Hi there.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
He heard that. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi there. You want me to
Hi
bring
there.
Stage fright.
Awk.
Oh, no. Where are you?
Awk.
You saying hi? Hi
Totally.
there. You're saying hi there.
Let me take those glasses from you.
Right.
If it's not the parrot, it's a snake.
Hold them right on.
Floyd, say hello. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
They're right there.
Hello. Yip, yip, yip.
He likes Susie, so he's probably disappointed. Sorry.
Right. I'm sure.
Is that Susie? It's not Susie.
Yeah,
That's
It would be. He talks to Susie. Pam used to be his big buddy, didn't she? Yeah,
Oh,
she did. All right, we'll leave you alone. Well, Father,
Gentlemen, I'm done. I'm about to fall a little like that. I've been at this since 6.
I hear you.
you better get some rest.
Yeah, I gotta hit the boards again in the morning. Thank you so much for inviting me, Bob.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Whip, delighted to be with you. Good to see you.
Good
All
seeing
right.
you too.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us, and thank you, Maud, so much. Really a great stream. It's too late now. Now he's warming up. Good
Right.
night.